Hey Science 2 kiddos, I'm going to use this video to walk you through how to make a cloud at home. You'll be posting a Flipgrid video with this. I'll do two things. I'm going to show you what we would have done in our laboratory if we were on campus, and then an alternative version which you can hopefully do at home. To make a cloud, if we were in our laboratory, we would be using these large plastic syringes, which I'm going to assume most of you do not have at home, and so I'm not going to expect you to do this. But it's actually pretty simple. What we would have done was just gotten a little water inside the syringe, because that's actually all clouds are, is liquid water or ice crystals. I know a lot of people think that it's water vapor. It is not water vapor, it's actually liquid water or ice crystals, as I said. And what's happening is those particles are condensing onto particulate matter. So air is full of dust, smoke, ash, all that kind of stuff. You can see it if you ever see light coming through a window inside your house. There's all this sort of dust that appears to be in the air. So we're going to use smoke to simulate that. If I can get a match going here. I'm just going to suck some of this smoke up into the syringe. That's going to be my particulate matter. And so next, what I need to do is get it to condense onto the water. So here's what's going to happen. By pulling the plunger back, I'm actually going to decrease the pressure, and what that does is also decreases the temperature. This is a gas law. We'll learn about this a little bit later. And so ideally, you should see that if I push in, the air kind of becomes clear. It's hard to see. If I pull back, you get a cloud forming. It's not really working, but you should see more of a kind of a cloud forming as I pull back on the plunger. But anyway, that's what we would have done in the laboratory. You are going to do a similar version at home by building something that looks like this. You'll see that I've got a glass jar with some water in it, a little metal lid on top, and some ice cubes sitting up there. And so let me walk you through the equipment that you're going to need to make this happen. First of all, you're going to need some kind of black background. So I've just got a binder that I'm using, but having a dark background really makes the cloud more visible. You're going to need a container, a glass container of some kind. So it could be a jar, could be a drinking glass, could even be like an empty jar of pickles or something that you have at home. It just has to be glass so that it can withstand having some hot water inside of it. You're going to need a metal lid. So I was using just the lid off the actual container, but if you don't have if you've got something in your fridge that has a metal lid on it, you can use that too. Just make sure it's clean on the bottom. You could also just use, if you've got like a metal glass at home, that could also go on top. If you really don't have anything metal, like a glass, it has to be metal in order for the cold to seep through from the ice. You can probably just make something out of tin foil. You've got tin foil at home too, that'll also work. You'll obviously need ice of some kind to put on top. And instead of using smoke as the particulate matter, just because lighting matches at home or burning paper is not something I want to encourage, you need to find like some kind of aerosol that you have at home. So hairspray is what they usually recommend. So check out your parents' bathroom or your bathroom if you've got hairspray, or it could be anything that's aerosolized. So if you've got like Axe body spray, if you've got like off insect spray, any of those things will work. It just has to be in a little aerosolized can like that where you're pushing down on the top. Okay, so here's how you're going to set up your experiment. Get your black background, line up your camera so that you can shoot the jar sideways, because this is where the cloud's going to be forming, right here. You're going to need to pour in the hot water. It doesn't have to be boiling. It can honestly just be warm. And I think I forgot to mention that. Again, so you do need hot water, so you could either get that from a boiling water on the stove, or you could just microwave, a mug of water, or if you've got a kettle that you use to heat up water at home or whatever else, you just need hot water. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. There's the hot water. Then you're going to place ice cubes on the metal lid, as many as will fit. Looks like I can get 2 in there. So, something like that. Place that on top. They'll start melting pretty quickly. As you can see, not much is happening, but the point of this is that you've got water evaporating from this hot water, right, in gaseous form, rising up, and it's going to hit this cold lid, and it's going to condense back into liquid form. So now all we need is something, a form of particulate that it can condense onto. This is how clouds form. And so I'm just going to put a little bit of hairspray inside. And hopefully you can see there's motion, there's clear motion, almost like a fan blowing from the top down. That is a cloud forming. So again, water vapor, water in gaseous form is coming up from the hot water, but then it's striking that cold surface and condensing onto the little tiny particles of hairspray that are now inside the jar. This is how clouds form. So it's a liquid water that's just floating around in the air in little tiny droplets that are condensed onto dust or ash or, again, whatever's in hairspray. That's what it's condensing onto. And so for your Flipgrid, all you really need to do is just film your jar like this and point out the cloud moving, the motions that you can see. Again, it works great with a black background. Let me know if you need help or if you need to come up with alternative forms of equipment. As always, clean up after yourself and please stay safe. You can, if you don't have any form of like aerosol, like a hairspray or anything like that, you can drop a match in. The smoke from the match will act like a particulate, but please only do that if you're outside or under a vent. I don't want any fire alarms being set off, and ideally if there's an adult present who can supervise if you're working with fire. Stay safe, thanks.